Hello. It's been a while since we talked about this topic. Um, I am filming this um on the 5th of March. So if I have any new updates on things, it will be way different. Hope you guys enjoyed the previous last two videos. I know you guys enjoyed the first video that I uploaded because it skyrocketed way quicker than I thought it would. But yeah. So today we're talking about my DCU movies. Now, did I write a lot of this? Yes, I did. And I feel like I did pretty good. Now, chapter one will be called Hell's Giving. Okay, we start off with Green Lantern. The plot summary is Psycho Pirate is working for Sinestro, making fear in people so he can be more powerful, and Hal has to travel to different planets to bring will and hope to people. We would see the Blue Lanterns in this, where they will spread hope and will to everyone, and they defeat Sinestro, and August takes Psycho Pirate into custody. It ends with Hal realizing that they need more lanterns on Earth, and we see Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner put a Green Lantern ring on, and one more person drawing Caesar ring. Now, now that's, of course, Green Lantern. There is one movie that I wrote really long for, like the rest of them, and near the end. So yeah. Yeah. Then we got Batman. The plot summary is Professor Pig takes people and leaves the ones who had scars or imperfections dead on the street. So Batman will have to find out who this is, and it'll be like a prisoner aspect movie. We would see Tim Drake as a Robin, and Nightwing would have a quick scene where he finds one of the bodies in Bloodhaven. Batman would be going on a journey to find out who did this, and we do see that Professor Pig kidnaps Alfred to make him perfect and to not walk around with a limb. And Batman stops him with the help of Tim Drake, who was able to pinpoint the location of the place. Batman, enraged, thinking that he killed Alfred, beats up Pig. Then he stops, realizing Alfred wouldn't want this, and he rescues all the people and finds Alfred fine, and he hugs him. Now that okay, now we're going on to my Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, the plot summary is Sophie would put a spell on everyone in Themyscira, making them think Wonder Woman is weak, and they banished her from Themyscira. But she would go on a journey to find out she doesn't need Themyscira to be who she is, and she would break everyone out of Cersei's mind control, and we would find out that she was rising Ares from the underworld, but Wonder Woman stopped, so it ends with Wonder Woman going to Paris. Then we see Ares' hand pop up from the ground. Now the next one is Green Ale. Now I did mostly use I said that I wanted the Rainbow Last Blood person to direct it, so I did kind of Rainbow Last Blood basically. But Green Arrow. This movie will be Green Arrow going after the people who killed Thea, and we see the relationship build up from flashbacks. We see him take out multiple people, and he's on a frenzy because of this. And we see Black Canary try to stop him. So he knocks her out and puts her in a cell to protect her from being killed. He ends up finding out who did this, Count Vertigo, and he's about to approach the door to kill him. While he walks up to the office door, Hal stops him and asks him if this is what he would want to know her brother murdered tons of people. Oliver tells him, I know what I'm doing. Hal lets him go. He then enters the hallway. He decides to stick arrows in both of his knees, and he's about to do it, but he leaves him there. Then August shows up to arrest him. Okay. Now we're going into the basically main summary of my whole chapter. Constantine. Constantine finds out his sister had a daughter, and he has hope that his sister is still alive. He finds his niece, who is Raven, and she still is learning her abilities. And a quote is trying to rise Trigon. He's able to take over people's bodies, but his body is not risen yet. Ryzen, yeah. So Constantine has to protect Raven and fight off demons. We do see an interaction where King Shark shows up and Raven is gaining multiple abilities and was able to read King Shark's mind. And it's a joke to Constantine and King Shark's relationship. Raven is the one to defeat Trigon and get him out of the body of the president. Defeat Trigon and brings his soul back down. But then we see Brother Blood walk up to the abandoned building and read the book to Rice. Okay, now we have Martian Manhunter. I did base this off of Parasite and a little bit of other things. Um, this would be John Jones as a private investigator to tell. Ugh, taking up the cases of families gone missing, then coming back after them. He finds out they are white Martians, so he has to stop them without rising any suspicion of him being an alien. But he ends up fighting a whole group, and people are scared of who he is, but they are going to accept the fact they exist. It ends with Jar Jones finding out they are more aliens in this world, and he shifts into Martian Manhunter and smiles, proud of who he is. Ending the movie. Now, I'm a biggish Martian Manhunter fan, so I like that. But my favorite project is another. It's in 4 projects, 5 maybe, yeah, 5 projects later. Okay, Flash. This movie will be Barry Allen teaching Wally how to use his powers as they face a group of rogues hired by a dirty cop of the name August Hope to make destruction in Central City so he can keep his job and not get caught of what he's been doing. The rogues, Captain Code, Heatwave, Neo Master, Golden Glider, Weather Wizard, and Pied Piper, decide to go after the Flash and Kid Flash, so Wally finds out how to phase through objects, and he also finds out by Barry how to create speed mirages. Then he figures out how to throw lightning. So by the end of the film, August would have given the rogues a bomb to kill tons of rich people. And the bomb goes off with Barry inside of the building, but Wally would be able to reverse time to stop the bomb from going off. It ends with them all plus August going to jail. Then Wally gets told by Nightwing and Donna Troy that they are forming a team. Obviously, we know what that's building up to, but it'll be awesome. Suicide Squad. This movie would have the whole movie in the eyes of Killer Frost as she's sent off on a mission with her team and she is finding out maybe she doesn't like to kill people and maybe she can change, but her team tried to convince her otherwise by going for the target now by going for the target now, and they go there to find out it's a random bug attack. Then the military shows up and Killer Frost learns that sometimes it's okay to kill people, but she doesn't have to kill everyone. They then go back to get the scare up, and it's fine missing. It ends with Killer Frost killing Amanda Waller. We would see more like the relationship building up, but yeah, that is what I had so far because I just want to make a film like that because I said I want Edgar Wright to direct my Suicide Squad movie, so I'm trying to do every single movie into it. You would see there is a chapter 2 teaser. Yeah. Now we have Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Carter Carter Hall would be introduced to by Martian Manhunter. Carter Hall, a member of the Wingman militia from Hawkwood, Jira Sanders Hall, Empress of Planet Thangrar, they would need to go onto a mission of finding out who they are not, who they are, not who they were, but who they shall become. Carter wants to go back and be part of the militia, but Shira doesn't want to go back home. Doesn't want to go back to where everyone has to listen to her. They would go through this. They would go through this through the movie. They would go back to the planets and blend in, see how they are doing without them, and what to do next. They would fight white Martians who are trying to go after Hawkwood and also facing themselves and accepting that they may not need them as much as they think. Otto would decide to no longer be part of the militia and become something else, as Hawkmaid. Shira is starting to realize that she misses being who she was on a world. They end up defeating the White Martians, but one of them is just a child. Shira decides to bring her back to the Martian Manhunter, and that's when he asks them the question if they will join the new Justice League. Shira said she will be here, but doesn't want to be the front and center. But doesn't want to be the front and center. She will raise the White Martian though. Carter decides to continue helping planets who need it. Um, that is based off the Hawk World storyline. I have not read it, but I've heard many. To be honest, and that's my favorite iteration of them from what I've seen so far. So yeah. And then, okay, next up is Justice League Dark. This is a short summary of it. Death is trying to kill people to get more souls, so Constantine, Deadman, Swamp Thing, and Zentida need to team up to defeat the Rebels. We do see Etrigan show up to, and they defeat demons and Death, with Deadman becoming the new Death. We would get another tease to Brother Blood Rising Trigon. Okay, now we got my favorite project. Become my favorite project because this is a long project and I love it in every single way. I hope that you guys love this too. And yeah, Superman. This movie would start with Lobo talking to someone about the next target being Superman's son, John Kent, who is just born. So Lobo agrees to do the job. We then see a half hour of John Kent's first 7 years of his life. We see Superman hanging up the tights and tell Steel that he has fought world enders and have been part of a team before, but he wants to see his son grow up. We then see Kara with John in a moment showing him what they can do. We see him growing up and we see Lois and Clark move to his old farmhouse where we see them start living normal lives, where Clark is a farmer and Lois still works in Metropolis. We then see it's been 7 years and Lobo is finally here. We see him go to Metropolis where he sees Steel flying around, so he attacks so he so he attacks him thinking it's Superman's new fit. We we see Lobo wipe the floors with him, but then Steel gets some good swings in. We then see Lobo cause mayhem, ask him where Superman is. He then goes to the Daily Planet since last time they fought. He he was there, so he goes there. He then recognizes Lois and starts hitting Garno. Then we see Lois grab something she hasn't grabbed in years and call someone. We then see Kara and Clark with John, and she tells him to stay there. She's got it. So she goes there and Lobo makes a joke about her being Darkseid's gal. Yes, I make a reference about Supergirl being part of Darkseid's whole thing. Um, um, I just lost where I was. Oh yeah. So then she fights him and she is beating him. But then he says, "Okay, practice round's over. Let's get to the real stuff." And he beats her up badly. And he pulls out kryptonite weapons to weaken her. She gets everyone out, but then Lobo questions her about where is Kal-El at, and she doesn't give away the location, but he puts her on the back of his bike with kryptonite chains. Clark tries to find out where Lobo is, and he realizes only one man available can track an alien that fast. He then goes to Lex Luthor as Clark and asks him for help. He agrees, but if he can get his sentence reduced to 1 more year. Clark says he'll try to get that for him, so they go off to an old LexCorp building, and he hooks up satellites to locate where they are, and Lex tells him there are two different locations of them. Supergirl is at the Fortress of Solitude. He's in Smallville, and he's in Smallville. Clark looks scared and rushes home, leaving Lex there. We then see Lobo sitting at the table with Lois scared and John crying. Clark runs over to him with blind rage and he gets slapped through the wall. where Lobo taunts him and says, "This isn't you, Kyle. You're a god, not a human. I need this contract one way or another." Where Clark surrenders himself and Lobo tells him, "The big man wants the boy alive, not him." Clark yells at Lois to run. Then he grabs Lobo and starts punching on him, beating him up. Then Lobo retaliates back and they get into an epic brawl where it ends with Lobo toning on a machine that affects Clark's hearing. So Lobo leaves to try to find John. We then see John and Lois in the fortress. By the way, like we would say that the fortress is near there ish. Like he actually, I don't really know how they get there. I didn't think that. Go ahead. Sorry. That's right. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So with actually teleportation device, we'll say that they were able to teleport away. So yeah. Um. So yeah. Okay. John and Lois in the fortress with Cora, recovered, ready to protect them. Lobo shows up telling Cole that he just needs the boy, and she retaliates it and starts fighting him. And Lobo asks her, "Why fight? You know you would lose." And she says, "I'm not fighting to win. I'm fighting to distract." Superman flies in to protect his family. We then see Carl and Superman team up to beat up Lobo, and then he knocks them away and goes over to John. When John lasers Lobo up into the air, then Clark and Carl are so proud of him, then they beat him up. They beat up Lobo. They did not beat up John. I just realized what that sounds like. Oh my gosh, I did not realize that. Okay. um, Give me a second. Um, then he tells them that all the big man wanted was his family back. They get confused, and when we see him get teleported away, it ends with John celebrating his 8th birthday, and Clark and John start practicing his powers. Also, with Lex finally making the perfect Superman clone, we then see Martian Manhunter show up and tell him that they need to come back together to face something big. He doesn't know what it is, but knows it's something. Okay, now we have a 3 more projects left of. Um, I have my Atom film. This will follow Ryan Cho as he gets the formal formula for the particles. Coming home, and they are on a piece of paper on his desk. He then figures out how to make it. While that's going on, someone is testing on college students and turning them into androids who will obey him. Ryan Cho decides to see if it will work by making a buckle in a suit for the next couple of days. He then has the costume on and goes out to see if it works, and he's shocked it works. We also see Ryan dealing with college and his professor Ivo, who is the one studying on college students. Adam goes out and sees these monsters, and he stops them. We then see Ivo get mad at the TV because he's ruining his plans. He then crosses off the person's name off the list, and the next person is Ryan. Ryan then gets drugged by Ivo. Ryan didn't have his suit, so he had to escape as Ryan, and he was able to do it. Then went back to his house to grab his suit. Ivo then released all of his subjects after Ryan, so Ryan faced them off, and Ivo gets sent to jail. But it ends with Amazo going on. Okay, now we have the big movie, the big one, Justice League. But it's not my big movie. That's not my big movie. You'll see why. Okay, Justice League. Ares will rise up from hell from the orders of Trigon and go after a new version of the Justice League. Batman Superman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan, Macho Man, Flash, and Green Arrow. Ares will bring demons up to attack Themyscira, Metropolis, Gotham, Star City, and various airfields, where they will fight Ares for the first time. In that battle, they lose. They lose both the fights, and Macho Manhunter, with Green Arrow badly injured. Then they face Ares before the final seal and puts the final seal onto a crow and puts up a fight against him. He ends up losing, and Wonder Woman strikes him down, which creates conflict around the team. But they all go separate ways, ending with Brother Blood reading the final seal and laughing. Aquaman. This will have Arthur and Mera raising their son when Black Manta's family is killed by Lanteans when he was a child, so he seeks revenge towards them and goes after everyone Arthur loves. It will have Arthur trying to make Atlantis and a safe place, and let the world know they exist too. But Black Manta finds out about his son and gets pissed that he has a family that wasn't killed. So he tries to kill Arthur's son, and Arthur gets everyone out and defeats Black Manta. Then while he's walking over and gets stabbed by Black Manta, and while his blood is leaking on the ground, hell opens up, letting Trigon out. Now we get the final film in my project. So yeah, in my chapter, I mean, not my project. 'Cause I have another film. I have another film up and ready. I'll tell you laterish. Actually, it'll be for another video. You gotta wait, cause I gotta make a couple weeks schedule. So yeah. Okay, Titans. This will be the final part of Hellsgiving, and we will see Trigon ruling Oath and having the Justice League as prisoners. The Titans forming of Nightwing, Wally West, Roy Harper, Kai Rano, Raven, and Donna Troy will need to face Trigon while he tries to get his perfect vessel. It seems to be Brother Blood, but Brother Blood ends up finding out that he's not the real vessel for him. But while that's going on, they all go attack Trigon while the Justice League have a spell on them, but that have on them have a spell on them that'll kill them if they don't fight the Titans. But Batman, Superman, Green Arrow fight the thoughts, but Wonder Woman, Flash, and Hal won't able to fight the thoughts and attacks the Titans. So Batman tells Nightwing to take him down because it's the only way. So the Titans defeat the Justice League and go to Trigon. While that's going on, Brother Blood hopes that Trigon will change his mind and let him be the vessel. So he continues with the spell. Then the Titans show up to Brother Blood with some of Trigon's powers, dog walk some of them, but gets Raven to meet their father. Trigon fi- finishes the spell. Brother Blood, just wanting to be seen, tells Trigon he's ready. And Trigon impales him, which makes the Titans able to move again. And Raven, watching everything happens, says yes. Nightwing stops the team, knowing that she knows what she's doing. Then Raven is able to hold him into her body and traps him in her mind. So she undoes so she undone undoes everything. See the world a mess. 3 months later, and the world is rebuilding with the help of the new President of the United States, Lex Luthor. The Justice League Hall of Justice is ripped down to be replaced by the Titans HQ. We then see the Titans talk to the West Coast Titans and the European Titans. Then we see the new team being Nightwing, Kyle, Starfire, Donna, Roy Harper, Raven. We then see Barry give Wally a suitcase, Flash suit inside, and tell Wally the world needs him as the Flash, not him. We see Barry run into the Speed Force, and then see press everywhere around Tens HQ, and we see the Flash join the team. So that is chapter 1. Now, what was the teaser I was going to say? It was blue and gold, I will be honest, but I don't know if you guys were ready. I may just wait until chapter 2 gets all done writing it out. It will take a bit because I like to sit there, really think, do I really want this? It's really hard for me to do that half the time. Really just want to post like So this will be probably posted on the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day! I got green in the background, so you can't pinch me. But I am wearing black, but I'll probably wear green, maybe. Maybe. Um, well, hope you all have a good rest of your day. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Play the cookie crumbs.